on I-FLIER 103.3 FM.
A beautiful, wonderful, fabulous, splendid morning to you out there. It's good to know that you're listening to I-FLIER 103.3 FM Ibadan. Thank you very much for always staying tuned to the perfect choice station for you, the high flyers. It is the 7th day in the month of May 2025, and I hope that we're making good use of each of the day in the year 2025. I hope you're making good use of this new month of May. Yes, it's the 7th day, but it's still a new month, and whatever it is you need to do, please start doing it now. I always say it whenever I want to start press drive, not every time, but sometimes, that time waits for no man, and it's very important that we have that in our minds, that time waits for no man. So do what it is you have to do right about now. On that note, I welcome you to our newspaper review program right here on I-FLIER 103.3 FM Press Drive, where we take you through headlines making rounds in the national dailies on 3 FM live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, comment, follow us. We'll appreciate that. And of course, if you want to react to the stories this morning, please feel free to drop a comment right there on our Facebook page. Once again, good morning and welcome to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM Ibadan. Let's start with the headlines of the Punch newspaper this morning. And one of the top headlines right there includes rising insecurity. NAS ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. Rising insecurity. National Assembly ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. Federal government kicks as part Utomi forms shadow government. Federal government kicks as part Utomi forms shadow government. Defections. Okowa denies 500 billion naira refund as Oborewuri visits Tinubu. Defections. Okowa denies 500 billion naira refund as Oborewuri visits Tinubu. Now to education. UTME mass failure. Proof anti-malpractice measures working, says Minister. UTME mass failure. Proof anti-malpractice measures working, says Minister. Away from education to electricity sectors to APC. Ganduje welcomes Edo Speaker, other PDP defectors to APC. Nigeria has all it takes to succeed. Nigeria has all it takes to succeed. It's coming from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Senate to pass Tinubu's tax bills today. Senate to pass Tinubu's tax bills today. OT urges mothers to prioritize children immunization. OT urges mothers to prioritize children immunization. Air Force urges Southwest, Southeast youths to enlist for national schools. Enugu Disco over outrageous bills. Anambra community tackles Enugu Disco over outrageous bills. Jakpa, United Kingdom considers tighter visa rules for Nigerians and Pakistan's. United Kingdom considers tighter visa rules for Nigerians and Pakistan's. Now let's go through the last set of headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Bandits frustrating resettlement of Plateau attack victims, says panel. Bandit frustrating resettlement of Plateau attack victims, says panel. SEDC plans modern rail system in Southeast region. SEDC plans modern rail system in Southeast region. Police disbursed 20 billion naira to families of late officers. Police disbursed 20 billion naira to families of late officers. Corruption in government discouraging honest living, says Peter Obi. Corruption in government discouraging honest living, says Peter Obi. Kano behind formation of Eastern Security Network, says witness. Kano behind formation of Eastern Security Network, says witness. And finally, on the Punch newspaper this morning, oil spill. I-FLIER screens Ogoni people for cancer. Others. Oil spill. I-FLIER screens Ogoni people for cancer. Others. And that is that with the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's go through the headlines of the for economy. More PDP bigwigs desert opposition party for APC. More bigwigs, PDP bigwigs desert opposition party for APC. No extra fees for tinted permit inspection, says police. No extra fees for tinted permit inspection, say police. EFCC gets court order to detain very dark man. EFCC gets court order to detain very dark man. And this is a sad one. 12 killed in Plateau and Benue states. 12 killed in Plateau and Benue states. President Tinubu sends 1.78 trillion naira FCT budget to National Assembly for approval. Tinubu sends 1.78 trillion naira FCT budget to National Assembly for approval. PDP governors are working to rebuild our party. PDP governors are working to rebuild our party, says court. President hails youth over GPS tech record. Minister blames poor UTME result on CBT. Minister blames poor UTME result on CBT. And going through the last set of headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. First Lady, drug war. No looting at Nel Fund, says Alausa. No looting at Nel Fund, says Alausa. And finally, on the Nation newspaper this morning, Kano admitted inciting public against police, says witness. Kano admitted inciting public this particular story, and let's do this. We'll start with electricity and have two stories, and then we'll move to other stories so that we can be very fast with them. 4.7 trillion naira debt, Genco's demand date to meet President Tinubu. Electricity generation companies want President Bola Tinubu to hasten the plan of meeting with the firms over the 4.7 trillion naira power sector debt to the Gencos. While saying there is no date fixed for the meeting yet, the Gencos want the meeting to take place as soon as possible. In a chat with Punch correspondent, the managing director and chief executive officer of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Joy Ogaji, expressed cautious optimism over the promise that the Labu and chairman of Gencos in Abuja amid mounting fears of a possible collapse of the national grid due to liquidity constraints in the sector. The government announced that Tinubu would meet with the generation companies, and the government pledged immediate action to reduce the 4.7 trillion naira debt owed to the Gencos. Now, I have one other headline. If I'm able to lay my hands on it, I would read it out. Okay, Anambra community tackles Enugu disco over outrageous bill. Okay, and residents of Yowa Odepe community in Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State have protested what they described as outrageous estimated billings, extortion, and weeks of power outage in the hands of the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company. And we know what's happening in the electricity power sector and the tariffs now. So let's put all of this together and let's start with electricity.
Yeah, but it's so worrisome. I mean, if to us in Nigeria is generating power that is helping us to produce up to about 6,000 megawatts, because what they produce is as much as about 75% of what we are generating in Nigeria as at now. So the government is now producing about 25% of about 6,000. So meaning that, despite the huge investment in electricity in this country between 1999 to date, so we have been unable to produce even 6,000 that we met, but we are now producing less than 2,000, and the people that are saving us, that are serving as the saving grace, we are still owing them. So I said disgrace. Okay, somebody need to ask, where are those money we have been investing in electricity? What's the result? And why is it that the private concerns are now the one that are not saving us? So, and if they are the one, why are we not doing our best to make sure that we fulfill our financial obligations to these people? It's just transaction. They are producing, we purchase from them and transfer to our national grid so that we can, we can transmit for the distributors. So, what is our problem? Public finance. Public finance talks about prioritization of whatever you are spending on. Yes, what are the opportunity costs? So are you spending on cosmetic that won't be able to give you result? And even if you get this result, what is the cost of that particular endeavor over the others? So what is of paramount importance to the people, in between the lines, between generating power and some cosmetic roles we are talking about? And you can't draw the lines between unnecessary travelings, and all that you are spending on. You can't draw the line between, generating power and, rationalization of the civil service so that you save cost. So, why the government is doing a bit when it comes to the issue of monetary policy to stem the tide of this, biting economy. Yeah, how about the fiscal policy from the executives? So they are failing in a whole lot of respect.
All right.
So all this banqueting and all that should have to stop. All this unnecessary spending need to stop. Let us, save the country, because in making sure that we save the energy sector, yes, we are saving the country. Otherwise, poverty will keep increasing, insecurity will keep increasing, and not only that, our trade relations with our foreign partner will dwindle, and that will have resultant effect on what you call the has a whole lot of resultant effect. I don't know why we are not looking at that. So whether they are going to borrow this or whatever, they need to sort out this matter.
All right, let's come to insecurity again, and this is. The headline says, rising insecurity, National Assembly ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. And let me also quickly add this, that I read in the headlines in the Nation newspaper that 12 killed in Benue and Plateau State in fresh attacks. Now, back to this one in the Punch newspaper, retired military generals have again called on the federal government to urgently equip the Nigerian armed forces amid growing concerns over the resurgence of terrorist attacks and killings in the northeast. This comes as the House of Representatives on Tuesday expressed deep concern over a recent deadly attack on a military facility in Giwa, Borno State, describing the incident as a glaring indicator that Boko Haram insurgents are better armed than the military. During Tuesday's plenary, the lawmakers lamented the gradual return of the terrorist group and the loss of lives in recent times in Borno and neighboring Yobe State. Though budgetary allocations to the defense and security sectors have steadily increased, there have been complaints and questions about the quality and volume of arms available to the troops. And we'll recall in 2023 that the federal government earmarked 2.98 trillion naira for defense and security. This rose to 3.25 trillion in 2024, and in 2025, President Bola Tinubu proposed a record 4.91 trillion naira out of the 49.7 trillion naira national budget, and this was aimed at enhancing the operational effectiveness of security agencies. Rising insecurity, National Assembly and ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. Are they just finding out, this question, are they just finding out that Boko Haram are better armed than the military?
No, they understand that all along, but you see, it's like it is getting out of hand. And you see, anytime I see my president, that's Senator Bola Tinubu, saying, that's a no-go area. So this time around, the people, any government in this country will fear the set of Nigeria are the retired military. And who are those people? The likes of Babangida, the likes of Guasu, the likes of Obasanjo and others. When they speak and they show their displeasure, then trouble is coming. It means that maybe the democratic system might just be on the line. So, and they don't want to hear anything of such. So, those people said, look, there are growing insecurity. Those people said, look, your military are not as harmed as those people. Not only that, something happened recently. Do you know that those people disarmed us in this country? They have stolen over 1 trillion, close to 2 trillion worth of our ammunition that we are even saying that are not as sophisticated as the one the Boko Haram are carrying. With that fire incident. It's not just mere fire. Those people carted away equipment and then just set, and maybe our people to save their face just set fire on the remnants. That's what is happening in this country. So the military concern, shows that our National Assembly are jittery, the government is jittery, everybody is jittery, and despite a huge investment from the 2025 budget that is up to about 4.91 trillion. That's about 5 trillion naira that we are spending this year. Where are those money? During the time of Jonathan, remember how much was carted away in the name of security, which was diverted into what you call electioneering campaign of Jonathan then. So, not only that, something happened again, because when those people speak, I told you, then our politicians will begin to catch cold. At the lower house, House of Rep, they also spoke. They issued warning. The House of Representatives warned of potential citizen revolt due to rising insecurity. That look, the people might just turn against us. So another one is that of the Senate. The Senate president for the first time spoke like a true Senate president. Yes. He said something. He said that he said that I don't want to I don't want to hit the whole thing so much, because what he said showed that look, it's like things are getting under. It's like he himself and the House, they are not passing a vote of confidence in the administration. That is just my
insecurity.
Yes, as touching security. That is just my summary, because I don't want to overheat this particular. I don't want to be.
And quote what he said.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to quote him so much. He called for urgent legislative action if it is necessary, and you know the meaning of that. He said the Senate should act with integrity and patriotism and bury partisanship and work as statesmen. That's the first time I've seen Akabio talking in that particular manner. And he said that there should be security reform, economic resilience, starting education, technology, and youth empowerment. Those are the basic things he highlighted that are as proximate trigger of insecurity that they should be looked into. So and also he sent a message to the public as well. He said the Senate is back and working to address the nation's challenges. That's the first time I'm seeing our Senate president speaking like one. So and you know the implication of that. One, he is now moving to the side of the people, and the implication of that is that, of course, he might be losing. Maybe something has happened in between the line, so he might just be on his way out, saying so because he spoke like a true statesman yesterday. Well, the summary is this: are they speaking the truth? Yes, the reality is that they are speaking the truth. Every day people are dying. Not only that, something is happening again. The British soldiers, I saw them in the northeast. Who invited them? Are we saying that we are incapable of solving our own problem? Are we saying that bringing the military will help us? Solving the problem we politically created. Something we can even sort out, through what you call, national meeting. Something you can say, okay, please, open grazing is banned, and it's banned. Get those things enforced everywhere. Once you don't see those movements, at least 50% of all this will be sorted out. So, the political will to tackle insecurity is not there. So it's not about bringing in the British military or whatever another. I saw that British officer speaking yesterday. So, it's like the government is not getting it right. They need to summon the courage. Forget about 2027 for now. And develop that strong mind, the strong political will to tackle insecurity. Because, one, it will be against the name of the president for life. That is a failure if he fail to tackle all this.
All right, thank you very much. Let's come back to the Senate again, and then this has to do with the tax bill. Senate to pass Tinubu's tax bills today. I mean, we've been back and forth on this particular one. There's been postponement of the passage, and it's set to be passed today. The leadership of the 10th Senate has postponed the passage of President Bola Tinubu tax reform bills to today for proper scrutiny and debate. The four bills, Nigerian Tax Bill, Tax Administration Bill, Revenue Tax Board Bill, and Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, were forwarded by the President 6 months ago as part of efforts to reform the country's fiscal policies and boost revenue generation. The delay in the passage of the bills had raised concerns, especially after the House of House of Representatives approved them 2 weeks ago, putting pressure on the Red Chamber. In a related development, the Senate leadership resolved to hold a 2-day National Security Summit to brainstorm a solution to the rising wave of killings and other forms of insecurity in the country. And this decision followed a motion sponsored by Jimoh Ibrahim, Senator representing Ondo South, at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday. And it goes on and on. But then, now they want to pass President Tinubu's tax bills today. What implication does this have? Because we've been having controversies on it, people supporting, some opposing, and then they've been scrutinizing, but then they want to pass it today.
Yes, they have 2 major items before them on the resumption of their recess yesterday. So the first one being the tax reform, the second one being the present security. And when it comes to considering matter of urgent public importance, yes, security comes first. They have to sort that one out. So, and I love the way Amana they spoke about that on the 2 chambers, the red and the green. So I hope the 2 put together will be able to bring out the kind of color that will sort out the security concerns at the end of the day. So they are proposing a 2-day summit. Well, laudable. Let's see what they are going to come up with. That's one. On the other side, yes, they said, okay, let us postpone that of the tax reform. It's not of pressing concern. So let's shift that till today. Yes, I don't know which of the report to believe. The report said they are passing it today. Another report said that they are brainstorming on it. So because you cannot brainstorm and pass the same day. So, well, of course, whichever. Let us wait and see. Already we have a template that on ground now. That was after the public hearing. They did, some maybe about just a few weeks ago. So. So let us see what they come up with. But already we know what we are looking at already.
All right. Now let's come to former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Peter Obi. Let's put these 2 stories together. Nigeria has all it takes to succeed, Obasanjo says. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has reaffirmed his belief in Nigeria's ability to chart its own path to success, declaring that the country possesses all the resources, both human and material, needed for greatness. Speaking on Monday at the inauguration of new substances of the geometric power plant in Ogbo Hill, Abia State, Obasanjo said his decision to issue a license to Professor Bath Naji to operate the power company was driven by his faith in Nigeria's indigenous capabilities. He praised the progress recorded by geometric power, describing it as proof that Nigerians can deliver on complex projects if given the opportunity. Okay, he said that the success of geometric power was a lesson in self-belief and self-reliance. Okay, and this particular story goes on and on. Nigeria has all it takes to succeed, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now let's come to Peter Obi. And let's put the two stories together. Corruption in government discouraging honest living, says Obi. Former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has lamented the deepening culture of corruption in Nigeria's political leadership, warning that it is eroding the nation's values and discouraging honest labor. Speaking on Tuesday during a visit to the Godfrey Okoye University School of Nursing Sciences in Enugu, where he donated 20 million naira to support the institution, Obi said Nigeria turned governance into a crime scene. He said, and I'm quoting to round it off, "It is not easy to be working in our country today because those who work are not cared for. Those who don't work, government officials and politicians, are busy stealing public funds," Obi declared. So let's put these two stories together. Corruption in government discouraging honest living, says Obi, and Nigeria will definitely succeed. It says former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Nigeria has all it takes to succeed.
No, from a frank note, if you say that Nigeria is bad, you can't make it, it's like you are condemning the work of creations by the Almighty God. He said, I created everything and it's beautiful. But summarily, he said, yes, I'm grieved because I created human being. I look at their heart and it's all about evil. So, the beautiful work of God, part of them is Nigeria. Just beautifully, heavily endowed. What are you talking about that we don't get in this country? We have the potential to be greater than the United Kingdom put together. Even the entire British Isles, all together. We have what it takes to be greater than them. Yes. Late Bola Cicero said something in a prayer. That was that's inside the Labaja's album. He said, look, may you be greater than we. He's talking about we, the youth. But we fell in that direction as youth in this country. So what are we doing? Yes, of course, Obasanjo was commending Professor Naji. Yes, when Obasanjo, during his second term, that was when he granted the license for that particular man to start, power generation. And go and see him today. Better part of that particular Abia state. They are enjoying 24/7 electricity today, courtesy of that particular man. So, yes, if Onaji can take the bull by the horn, if Otedola can follow suit, it's Geregu. If Transcorp of Elumelu can follow suit, if Pacific of Adeleke can follow suit, and if Dangote can follow suit, generating power that Nigeria as a country altogether, we collective nation cannot generate. Yes, there is a hope. All we need to do is to get the right set of people in power to annex all the resources, both human and physical. And you see Nigeria right there at the top. Yes, people will be afraid of us at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know what is wrong. We have what it takes to become a giant in the sun once again in the country. That's on one side. And on the other side, coming to Peter Obi, yes, of course, in fact, the youth of today, they don't believe that you can even make it through the dint of hard work. They don't believe in honesty. The value has been eroded. And what is happening? It's not their fault. It shows the frustration of the current youth. It shows the kind of education we give to them. It shows the failure of what you call, the builders of the society. Education, family, religion, all of them put together. There are huge investments in that direction, but of course, they don't bring results. You will have religions, but you don't have godliness. You don't have content of values. You have families, you don't have content of value. You have government, they can't deliver. You have media, it has been polluted. A whole lot of things. So those are the failures of the society. Those are the failures of the nation today. So I think, yes, we can be better off. I think, just like Obi said, people are afraid, rather than, getting dollar from the central bank or from commercial bank for productive endeavor. It pays the manufacturer to get the dollar and trade it away and get their money instantly. So that weakens your naira because you are not producing. So, and the government is yet to look at that particular direction. That the reason why naira is failing is because of round tripping. And they are not checking it. Maybe because most of them are involved. I don't know what is wrong. For Obasanjo to survive in the second term, he has to bring in Soludo. They have to look at the issue of round tripping, look at the issue of RNG and all those stuff. And of course, see what happened at the banking reform. That isn't why you are having the banks you are having today. Imagine Nigeria with up to about 90 banks then. And most of those 90 banks, in fact, you see some family having their own banks and doing everything that they like. So he said, look, you can't continue that way. Everything was narrowed down to 25, and then you see 25 giant banks in those days. Today, yes, of course, you can still see now. You see, so we are back to that era. Why? Because once you get a bank, you have access to whatever you can do with our money, and that is how your money gets weakened per day. And when you weaken the money, you are weakening your economy, you are weakening even an average human being, because very soon you might just go to the market with a sack, and then you cannot bring more than 1 tube of yam. So, it's worrisome. But I want our president to please look towards the angle of what we call round tripping. Yes, the monetary policy is getting better, but then they are not addressing what you call a proper reform of the banking sector. If a president can unilaterally go to the central bank and withdraw over money in trillions, if a president can just wake up and begin to mint and print money, that happened in the last administration. Yes, and the then governor of Edo State, the former governor of Edo State, won 3 times. Said, look, your president is printing money, and we as a people, we did not talk. Not only that, they claim to have spent about $400 billion. Do you know how huge that amount can be? Yes, on what you call saving the naira against the dollar. Is naira saved? If what you call safety is 1,500 to $1.
I take one more story before we open the phone lines. Some of the other stories to look at. Federal government kicks as Patutomi forms shadow government. Prominent economist and political activist Professor Patutomi has inaugurated a shadow government composed of members from various opposition parties. According to Tomi, the Big Tent Coalition shadow government, launched virtually on Monday evening, will function as a credible opposition force, highlighting the failures of the Bola Tinubu administration while offering ideas for better governance. But in a swift reaction, the federal government kicked against the move, describing it as an aberration in a federal system of government. In an interview with The Punch, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said, and I quote, "At a time when our nation is set to celebrate 26 unbroken years of presidential democracy, the idea of a so-called shadow government is an aberration. Nigeria is not a parliamentary system where such a system is practiced, and there is no provision for such in our statute books. While opposition's politics is a central feature of democracy, must be practiced at all times within the bounds of propriety. This idea of a shadow government sadly does not pass that test. A bicameral legislature amply features members of the opposition building." Now, Utomi, however, justified the move, arguing that policy missteps by the current federal government had worsened poverty, driven multinational companies out of the country, and intensified terrorism in Benue and Plateau State, alongside rising insecurity and corruption nationwide. So federal government kicks as part of Utomi forms shadow government.
Yes, the shadow government is more popular in a parliamentary system. Yes. It's even part of their constitutional prerogative, as opposition. So, but of course, the efficacy of a shadow government can be significant in promoting accountability and offering alternatives in terms of idea. But, its legitimacy is often contested and depends on legal consideration and public support. But of course, mind you, while it is not constitutionally supported, the constitution is not against it. No law is against it anyway. So that's another thing. So analyzing the efficacy and legitimacy of what we call shadow government. Well, when it comes to the issue of efficacy, you find out that shadow government can provide alternative policies and critique of the current administration, potentially leading to better governance through constructive opposition. If that is part of the game, why can't we just go for it? Why can't we just embrace it? Why is the government afraid of that? Another one is public awareness. They are likely to tell us that, look, the government is going this direction, these are the implications. So they are likely to get us more aware. Maybe things we don't know, or maybe things we embrace and we thought we are going to get results, but of course getting that will cause more harm. So they are likely to do that. So another one is political engagement. So by engaging various opposition parties, shadow government can foster political participation and encourage a more vibrant opposition processes. So so you can see that is where the threat lies. But when it comes to the issue of legitimacy, of course, the legal framework, the public perception, the historical concept, when you wrap all the three together, you find out that, yes, It might not be there in the constitution, but yet the constitution is not against it. No law is against it. Yes, even as a group, I can decide to form a shadow government. Yes, I can be the president, offering alternatives to the. So if the gain outweigh, the what they are talking about, they are fair. I think it should be embraced.
Okay. All right, let's open the phone lines at this point. 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033, 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. Let's take your reactions this morning.
Good morning, ma.
Hello, good morning to you, sir.
Ayabesteri.
You're welcome, sir. Amen.
Honorable.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
You speak the truth and you analyze the truth for us. For number one, about electricity. No government there. No hand of on security. No hand of government. On loan. They want to go. We Nigerians, we need to pray to God to change hands by 2027 because we don't want to suffer. Ìjọba ilé ìtúfẹ́ mọ̀ fún wa kí ni ntí ẹ bá ṣé wọ́n tún ṣe ni ṣé ìyípadà ti ń dé bá ntí ẹ bá àbẹ́ tún dá kún fún wa. Ẹ ronú ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Nigeria should shine eye to pray to God to change hands because àwọn ọmọ wa inú bẹ́ẹ̀ ń dábàá gbẹ bàbá èmi ọ̀bá rú ẹlẹ́gbàá bó ti dókè ìgbẹ́ 1946 years. Kò rí báyìí. Nigerians God should change hands to save we poor people.
All right, sir.
Poor.
No, Baba.
Thank you.
Yes, Baba.
Thank you very much, Baba Tajudeen. Okay, appreciate your comment. Thank you. We have another call. Let's quickly pick this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right.
So if we want to change hand in 2027, whom are we passing the baton to?
Okay.
Under which premise? Under which system?
All right.
So it's a systemic failure, not even the issue of APC.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome, sir. Pastor Edele.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
yeah.
my honorable good morning. Speaking from Alatia.
Yeah, welcome.
You're welcome, sir.
I want to express my view and my concern concerning the insecurity in this country. I was reading news on online yesterday that those bandits that came to attack the communities in Sapara, they came in a convoy of motorcycles, and when they were going back through Zarazina, they passed through the main road back to Niger Republic.
Yeah.
Sir, what is happening to our military? Don't they have intelligence gathering that they can use? For hours, these criminals will come and operate outside Nigeria, from outside Nigeria, and they will go back. Which means that the military seems to be accomplished in this issue. Then again, I want to ask a question, sir. Why is it that the females are arrested? Why are they not even approving the state police bills that have been passed from one of these stuff from Benin State last year? Why are they vaccinating? Why are they hesitating? They should approve this state police so that people can use to guide their communities. Why are they not approving it? Good morning.
Thank you very much, Pastor Edele. Before you answer the questions, please hold your thought because we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, then you can answer the questions. Thank you very much. Please stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Mama Gold Semolina and Supreme Semolina. Yes, are you looking for the...
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us in Price Drive this morning. So you wanted to answer some of the questions that Pastor Edele asked earlier. Very quickly.
State police is just a cajole. Yeah. I don't think they mean it. Remember, when Buhari came in, the party promised us what to call restructuring. So they set up a committee on restructuring headed by Nasir El-Rufai. They came up with, recommendations, including state police and all that. Okay, what happened to it at the end of the day? You can't hear anything. Why? They would do so, preparatory to election, that we intend to do this. They will take steps, but that thing will not come. Okay, can you remember how many of the of meetings, national meetings we've held? The one of Jonathan, the one of us. Where are those results? So likewise, in this case, in the issue of the current state police, whatever, the bill had gone to the National Assembly. They've debated, they pass it on to the state houses of assembly. Up to about more than 2/3 have been in support. There, so what are they doing about it? Even when the NEC met some weeks ago, they want to talk about it. Look, it's not of importance. Let us set that one aside. We'll talk about that one later.
All right.
It's security. Because they know that the moment you get that, then the state will be more empowered. It means that there had been devolution of power.
All right, let's pick the call. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
This is Prince Bumi Adefosi calling from Apata. I greet the Igbo analyst.
Good morning, my prince.
Yes, sir. Let security begins from our homes, our communities. If we can ensure that, then let's leave the rest rather to the federal government, because it seems that federal government is not ready to protect the lives and properties of the citizens, and it is inferior from their, because it's one of their major responsibility as a government. Let them continue making insecurity as a weapon in politics. Let them continue to use it as a lucrative business. Time will tell. That's my submission. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Prince Bumi Adefosi.
Yes, Prince said self-defense.
Let's pick the
Hello,
call.
hello.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, my dear sir. How are you, ma?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
My honorable,
Oh, my own evangelist. Good morning, sir.
I joined your analysis today.
Oh, thank you, sir.
God will continue to bless your prayer.
Amen.
You know that plan in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I am evangelist Solitary from the Baraba. My honorable sir,
Yes, sir.
the house is now waking up. If Ababio can continue to talk like he talked yesterday, I know and I'm sure the executive will stand up to do the needful. They are not setting the president. He may be what is happening in the house now. Baba Tinubu may be impeached with what is happening now. Because they have realized that this man is not performing security-wise, economy-wise, and so on. We need somebody to take care of us. Not people like Baba Tinubu. He's not doing anything. They are dying. Security-wise, one cannot use 2 minutes a day. That is actually it's so good. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Hello, good morning. Sorry
Hello,
to
good
please hold
morning,
you. You're welcome, sir. Ma, you're welcome, Ma.
Yes, my Ruth calling from Alaka.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning to you, my daddy.
Good morning, Sister Ruth.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, as regards insecurity, it's high time all hands should be on deck, because the rate at which insecurity has ended.
Madam Ruth.
Yes.
Okay, it's better now. It's better now.
Security is local. So if the central security aspect can't curb this menace, so why can't the government use local security to tackle this menace of insecurity? Because we all know that they are the ones that know the hideout of all these criminal elements, and as such, we all the House of Assembly to pass a bill in banning open grazing because before people start taking laws into their hands. So the government should do the needful on time. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Madam Ruth. Appreciate your comment. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
You know, the problem is that the public service in Nigeria has become decay. It's characterized by inefficiency, indolence, and all the rest. And that is what is affecting all sectors, including the security. Unless there is that change of mentality from indolence.
My question is about this power generation.
Right.
The other time, I learned that the leaf generating farms have been sold to private sectors. Why is it that the government is pumping money to its development again? Why are we pumping money when one something has been sold to the private sector? I can't understand this. And the other time I asked a question, you said you will be answering me later about this Adeshina. Were he to be given the opportunity to rule, will the international collaborators allow him? Good morning, sir.
Please, who is speaking, sir? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, we'll get to know that later.
All right.
Yes, Akewumi additional. Yes, the problem is not about individuals. In fact, individually in this country, we are super, but collectively, we are a nuisance. Why? Because there is a kind of, a kind of system in place. That system is the vampire. Unless that system is dismantled. So, and what is that system? Over-centralization of power. So that one person somewhere and special interests will be able to control virtually everything. So, we are running the government from up down and not from bottom up. So meaning that the power is not does not belong to the people. Power belongs to the special interest. Okay. So not until when we reconfigure the system. So nobody, even Adewumi, bring 1,000 of Adewumi. I mean, they won't be able to. I mean, additional. They won't be able to do anything. It's all about the system. So all not until when we change that.
All right, let's take this call. Oops. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
You say something that satisfies me. That problem today is political related problem. These people call whatever they call them, whatever. They are the ones they use to enable them to march. Now that they have got where they are, they do not damn them or take everything they have given them. Don't hear the problem. Remember, this man that left before this Tinubu, he said he will not allow the letter to govern well. He will make use of government. See the problem we have found ourselves in. Yeah, I used to say it just to give them, just to remind people.
Especially here in Oyo State. Thank you very much for your comment. Let's go to Omadi Adekunle. He says, on the JAMB failure, government is only making money from JAMB without providing sound education and computer training for public school students. How many of our public schools have computers to practice? We can't give what we don't have. We should expect more failures if we can't do the needful. Thank you for your comment. Omadi Adekunle. Tolu Lokbe Adeyemi says, good morning. We might not have a formidable opposition parties for 2027, as the crisis rocking these political parties deepens on daily basis. They are joining the ruling party instead for them to put aside their personal interest and work together to salvage the country from maladministration of APC, which is concerning at this point. Obviously, these political parties no longer have any ideology and they should be blamed for the failure of this APC since they didn't do their jobs as the opposition. Thank you very much.